Hey, I'm Molly Swenson with Ryot, based out in Los Angeles. We are an immersive media company focusing on 360 journalism, augmented reality, and documentary films. We were acquired by the Huffington Post and AOL about a year ago, and the journey up until then was a very classic sort of entrepreneurial story, starting off in a garage, ending up with acquisition by a major influence of ours. So I can go into a little bit of how that started. I started off basically thinking that I wanted to be a paralegal and go to law school and do that very standard track. Instead, wound up working at a startup modeling agency as an intern, then at the White House as an intern, then getting a very short stint on American Idol, which brought me out to Los Angeles. Got a job with a company called Global Philanthropy Group, doing philanthropic consulting for celebrities. Met my current co-founders of Ryot through Ben Stiller, who was a client of mine, because I was giving them Ben's money down in Haiti to build schools. So, very circuitous path from graduating university and having no concept of how to build a company to here, having sold one.
That sounds great. I'm going to clap in 2 seconds. Hey, Ben, could you close the door for me? It's not going to take more than a couple minutes, but I just want to make sure that I get this. 1, 2. Can you do me a favor also? Will you clap? 1. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Molly, can you tell us a little bit more about Ryot? What does Ryot do actually?
Yeah, so when we started Ryot about 4.5 years ago, at that point it was a blog essentially that was posting news stories that we were getting from Reuters and Associated Press and linking every single story to an action that the reader could take. So it was like, here's what's going on in the world, here's what you could do about it in one place. And we were trying to make the news less depressing by making it actionable. We built out a documentary films arm, then a creative agency arm, and essentially now, post-acquisition, what we are is a brand studio that runs most of AOL's brand and content work, and a film production entity. So we do TV and film development, both linear and 360 out in Los Angeles.
Okay, now you have been receiving awards and doing all kinds of fantastic things. Now, how do you feel, first of all, about being like the top, like one of the 30 under 30, top 30, Forbes, top 30,
30 under 30.
30 under 30. Yeah, how does that feel?
It's great. I mean, it's wonderfully validating of the hours and days and nights of a lot of hard work and sleeping on friends' couches and spending nights at the office. And I don't think I expected any of it, for sure. It's more, I think, just a testament to the fact that Ryot is something that people want to exist, and it's something that I want to exist, which is why I'm working on it and have been for so long. But this company that sits at the intersection of technology and entertainment and social impact. We don't think of ourselves as a film company. We don't think of ourselves as an advertising company, even though we do all of that. We think of ourselves as a new media company because basically anyone out there who's making content is a media company as we see it. And the purpose of Ryot now is to also harness new technology to tell stories better and to get people to pay attention to them, to make what's important interesting.
Okay, well, you're here in Copenhagen, or we're having this conversation in Copenhagen because you're traveling around and you're talking about virtual reality, kind of background, next steps. Why is this so important to you?
Well, the first time that I ever saw my parents cry was after I showed them a virtual reality piece that Ryot shot in Nepal after that huge earthquake that happened in 2015. My parents didn't cry at my graduation. They didn't cry basically at anything that ever happened in my childhood that I recall. But I brought home this virtual reality film that we had shot in the aftermath of the earthquake, put them in the headsets, and they both took off the headset in tears. And that was the moment for me where I was like, wow, I've just made a piece of content that's made my parents cry. There's probably something to this medium that we should explore more, because if it had just been a normal documentary, or if I'd written an article about the earthquake, or done a photo series or something like that, I don't think it would have had that impact. And so even though it's not at scale yet, and even though, headset proliferation is slow, there is something to the notion of proximity. And when you can give someone a sense of proximity using technology, I think that in service of journalism, that's one of the most important things you can do to help people understand the scope and the scale and the importance of what